Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I'm the Hot Rod Reverend, and today we've got a special treat for you. We're going to go up to Hanford, California and visit the Y-Block guy, otherwise known as Tim McMaster, and world famous for building fast, reliable Y-Block Ford racing engines. He builds stock engines as well, and he builds FEs, flatheads, a lot of flatheads up there, all kinds of things. We'll get into the shop here in just a few minutes with you. But he holds a record, the world's record for the fastest Y-Block at roughly 200 miles an hour at the Bonneville Salt Flats just a few years ago. We're going to take a look at that car, some of the other vehicles he's got in his shop. So why don't you join me today? Guys, it's Friday afternoon. We're en route to Hanford, California to visit the Y-Block guy, otherwise known as Tim McMaster.
Here's a great example. Take Grandpa's truck and go land speed racing right here, roaring on the course now. '62 vintage Ford with a that is a D production pickup, unibody F100. Class record is 158.404, and I think he owns this record, if I remember correctly. Y-Block Guy Racing is the entry. Rod Riders Club with Jim behind the control.
Check out the machine shop, all the goodies he's got going on up there, and we'll also let him take a look at our C2 block back here. Tim's got a lot of my rotating parts. Matter of fact, all of my rotating assembly up there to get it balanced, make sure we're okay. Looking forward to it.
The destination is on your right.
And here we are. All right, guys, we're here. Look at all the eye candy over here to the right. See if Tim's in. There he is.
Hey,
Tim, how you doing, man?
good to see you.
Good to see you.
Welcome.
Yeah.
This is your first time here?
Yep,
At
this
least
is
when I was open.
Yeah, I think the last time I was here, I was trying to get in your back lot. So I saw a few trucks in there I
Trying to break
recognized.
in,
So
huh?
yeah, exactly.
Well,
exactly.
this is it. This is Hanford Auto Supply. I've been here 40 years now.
Wow.
I have owned it 9 years, but I was a lowly employee here when I was 21 years old, and now it's all mine, better or for worse. The building itself is mostly 100 years old. There's 3 spots. Back shop back here is built in 1907. This part we're standing in is from 1920. And then way in the back where we're going to end up when we unload your block, that was built in 1950.
Awesome.
So it's been a machine shop.
Awesome.
It was a Napa parts store since 1976. Now it's exclusively a machine shop.
Now, Tim, you're called the Y-Block guy, but
I think that's you
let us
now.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm the Hot Rod Reverend. You're the Y-Block guy. So
Okay.
there's a whole lot more you do here, though, than just Y-Blocks,
Yeah,
for
you
sure.
know.
So tell us a little bit about that.
So the Y-Block guy name is because I've been into Y-Blocks. It's my hobby. I race them. I do quite well with them, I might say. But I do everything else. I actually build small block Chevys, if you can believe that.
How about
I've
that?
probably built more small block Chevys than any other engine just because they're so popular.
Well, they tear up a lot, too. So you got
It's a full service machine shop. I work on LS motors. I work on John Deere engines. I work on Briggs and Stratton. I've got a guy that I do a lot of Cushmans for.
Okay.
So we do just about everything.
And of course, the older brother, older brother to the Y-Block, Gen 2.
Yeah,
You get the FE.
Yeah, we got some of those.
Yeah.
There's some Y-Block heads right here. A couple projects going on. Got big block Chevys. Got an F-head Willys here. This is for a little CJ5 Jeep. Building some flatheads. There's another Y-Block over there. That one belongs to a fella up in Oregon. yeah, so this is where we do the head work basically. You've got a Surdy live pilot seat and guide machine, sun and diamond hones. There's rod hone over there, pin boring machine there, rod heater, boring bar, valve facing. So out here we do have the land speed truck. Not the first one we started with, that would have been Charlie Burns' truck, but this one here has been around the block a few times. Still running.
This truck sounds good too. So I'll put a clip in the video. I'll put a clip or two in the video.
Flatheads here too. This is one of my favorite cars, the 53 Mercury. And for all the people that watch my page and say, well, that's a 53, it's going to be a flathead, not a Y block. Well, no kidding. I like flatheads too.
Yeah.
And guess what? I like small block Fords. There's a 289 in that Falcon. Gonna finish that up someday. And we like old four-banger flatheads.
Yeah.
This is my wife's Model A. She loves that car.
I've seen photos of Kathy driving in that thing.
Another land speed car. We're doing a little work on it. It will be at Bonneville this August, and 200 is in the making.
Yeah.
Got the Y block dragster over here. Might put a little video of
Yeah. How about we crank that up?
Okay. Without getting in it.
Tim has got a lot of cars. All these are his personal cars that he has here. This Galaxy, of course, his unibody, and his Mercury over here with the flathead. One of my favorites is front engine dragster that we just heard fire up, and then this is the 200-mile-an-hour car right here. So he's planning on taking this to Bonneville. He does have the heads off. He swapped that onto another engine block, and he's got to do some prep work to get it ready for August for Bonneville, but this is the car right here.
Here's our...
Now, this is the car my dad's interested in. When he saw this, I told him I was coming up here. He said, man, talk to Tim. Let's see that Galaxy.
This is our Gen 2 Y block. I know that a lot of people love it when I say that. But it is an FE. The whole Y block thing, though, is a technical term for the way the block is shaped, and I will show you that when we get it back a little bit in the back of the shop there. This one here is kind of fun because it was a 3-speed on the column car, and I went back to the column shift, but now it's 4-speed, so it's first, second, third, fourth, and then you put it in neutral and push that forward, and that's your reverse.
How about that?
It actually works quite well. This thing will actually start. Solid lifter cam, so it makes a little music up there.
Yeah.
Just like a Y block should.
Yeah, you can hear it a little bit.
All right, doors We've got some brake equipment. I think this brake lathe goes back to the 1930s. One next to it for doing rotors, that's more from the 1970s vintage. Old man that used to be my boss, he paid $1,000 for that press in 1970 and sent his wife down to pick it up in their El Camino. One of the stories he always told me.
Wow,
it's a good press. Crank grinders. I hate grinding cranks, but I love grinding cranks because I'm pretty good at it. But that's what all I did when I was
how long have you been grinding cranks, Tim?
40 years.
Wow.
And when I first came to work here, that's all I did, 8 hours a day. So yeah, I'm a little tired of it, but I still like it.
One of these cranks down here looks a little familiar to me.
Here
If I can
says
point it out.
DJ on it.
Yeah.
Figure out what that stands for.
Okay. All right.
You got Magnaflux machine, checking for cracks in crankshafts mostly, but check axles and spindles and things like that. We have a line hone here. That's for doing minor adjustments on the mains. If you have something really bad, we do line boring. So that's if you're, a lot of times we'll be putting fancy caps on flatheads, like these billet things here, and you have to bore those out to fit the block.
Yeah.
And then across from the line hone is a regular cylinder hone, CK10. It's all old equipment, but it works. The only computer in here that runs this stuff is the one between my ears.
There you go. Guys, one of the things about it is Tim obviously knows his stuff. He's been working at this shop for 40 years or more, and you will not believe the equipment that's in here. Now, a lot of this equipment, you can tell, very old school. Old school, but in its day, equipment that was state-of-the-art and still works just fine today for building these engines, and you can tell there's a lot more in here than just Y-blocks.
And then we have a crank polisher, a crank welder. I don't weld cranks that often anymore because if you got a crank that needs to be welded, sometimes it's easier just to find a new crank.
Right.
Unless, of course, it's something like this crank here. I don't think you can replace that. That's out of a 1919 Packard truck.
Wow.
4 cylinders, no counterweights. I believe it is a 460 cubic inch 4-cylinder. A little bit rare.
Yeah.
Big lathe. This is a rod hone also. This one's a power stroke, so you don't have to sit there and do this. It does it for you. And it's a little more accurate than the others. And extra stuff, a backup valve facer. So here is an FE block.
Yeah.
And it's upside down, but it's a Y.
Oh, we'll go ahead and take care of that. Don't worry.
Deep skirts beyond the center line of the crank. That's what makes it a Y block. But it is an FE, Ford Edsel. And then if you come over here, this is a 292 block.
Yeah.
And if you look at that, same thing. Center line of the crank is above the pan rails.
Yep.
It makes a Y. Now let me show you something over here.
Makes it easy. You can put the main caps on the block, and it'll sit square to the floor.
Look at that Y block. And this is a...
Oh, man, look at that.
That's an aluminum Buick. See, Buick made Y blocks too. Another small block Ford, Model B Ford. Another flathead car. I like racing that one. I'll have that at Santa Margarita this fall. Then the oddball in there, that MG. I bought that car when I was 16 years old.
Sounds familiar, doesn't it? 16 years old.
Yeah,
You still got your car at 16. I do too. Yeah. How about that?
And everything else here has too long a story to tell everybody.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Well, let's take a look at
Run stand over here. Well, guys, that's the wrap at Tim's place for right now. I was glad to get back up out here and He's going to take my block. We're going to build a 342 that I'm going to assemble, and looking forward to all of that. So we'll walk you through some of the specs as we go through the build for the next several months. Special thanks to Tim for letting me come up there for an afternoon and bug him and ask some questions and get into a Y block build. I know a lot of you guys out there are excited about this. I don't think there's much on the internet or really on YouTube or any other place that kind of documents a build by video. All the stuff we have by books or articles, Y block magazine, which is great. All those things very helpful. So Tim and I are going to be tag teaming this effort. Of course, Tim knows his stuff. I trust him implicitly with what he's doing. I'll take his recommendations for sure. And I'll do what I can to record and archive all of this for all of us. Understand, I have a lot more video that I'm going to be kind of splicing into this series of the 312 build that is coming up here on the channel. So if you're looking forward to Mercury Y blocks, I encourage you to subscribe. Click the notification button. You want to follow all of this. We're going to have a great time with it this year. And certainly looking forward to getting this 312 together, getting it on the road, and thrashing it out in my 1955 Ford Fairlane Club Sedan. The workbench is obviously absent of the 292 block that was bare. And I do have some pieces over here. Now, some of you have been following my website and the blog and everything. Maybe you've seen a couple of videos. I have been talking about setting up 3 deuces, and I've got 3 Holly 94s that we're going to be going through, modifying, building up. I know this is an Offenhauser. This is the worst flowing intake. You can tell when you look down in here. I'll take a look. I'll take a light real quick. Man, you just pretty much come down to a flat. Like it's almost like it's blocked off. There's not much room for the air to flow. So the CFM flow for this thing is not very good, and I get it. I can't find anything else right now. I'll stick with this for the interim. If I can find an Edelbrock 573, maybe one of the Fenton intakes that have the larger ports, I'll swap over to that. But at least I have something that I can get together and put on the car, talk about tuning and driving it and all of that. The power output won't be as great, I get it. But we're looking forward to that too. All right, guys, that's it for today. This video's gotten long enough, so I want to sign off. God bless you. Thank you for supporting the channel. Get on hotrodreverend.com/shop. See what we got out there for some goodies. Every little bit that you buy helps support not only the channel, but also the website. It keeps the website and all the articles ad-free. And we want to keep that going for you. I know it's a big help to a lot of you. God bless you. We'll see you later.